Good morning. Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? Hope you're all fit and well. Big news over the weekend, obviously. Joe Biden decided not to run for re-election. Kind of feels inevitable, but sad nonetheless. Obviously, a great public servant. Sad to see him stepping away. Speaking of stepping away, sounds like the British Demolition Awards have lost another judge. Yeah, Joe Biden, a man of dignity and integrity, stepping away. Another judge of dignity and integrity stepping away. There's a pattern here. I'm not going to dwell on it. And to say good morning to Jim Turner, to Callum McIntosh, to Gary Muirhead, to Ken Hatcher, who was first off the mark as well. I say first off the mark officially because that's when the show started. But our new friend, Brian, was here. Where was he? He was here at 6:14. I don't know what he was expecting at 6:14. I wasn't here. Now, in front of me, I don't know how well you can see that. That's basically a box of balls. The reason for the box of balls, which I'm about to show you, is we are going to do the draw right now for our Excavator World Championships. Basically, as you can see on there, I've numbered 32 balls. Each of those 32 relates to a specific model or a make rather of excavator. And basically, starting on the 1st of August, we will pit two brands against each other. You'll get the idea. So basically, I'm going to pull out 2 balls now, well, until I've done all 32, to find out who is playing who over those rounds. And we're going to do these daily. As of the 1st of August, we're going to take about a 30-day or a 30-show break from the question of the day. We will instead be doing our Excavator World Championship. Callum McIntosh has just said, love that Hymac gets a ball. Yeah, I wanted to mix a bit of old and a bit of new. So Priestman are in there as well. Owen Kay are in there. You know, good blast from past. Good morning to Jonathan Duras as well, who has just joined us. So I tell you what, let me take that off the screen. Just to show you, I'm going to just do this completely at random. Bit of a ball. There we are. So 22, who I can tell you is Shantung, will be playing number 10. I probably need to take this away, don't I? Number 10. Who is number 10? Bear with me a second. I've also got this on my other screen. Number 10 is JCB. JCB facing Shantung, first round. Morning, Chris Ford. Good of you to join us. Thank you very much indeed for being here. So the next ball up is number 6, which I can tell you is John Deere. I happen to be wearing the hat. We'll be facing number 27. Who is number 27? Graddle. So it's an all-American one, that one. Graddle will be taking on John Deere. So next one up. I'm going to rattle through these because this bit isn't really important. So number 3, one of the big ones, Hitachi. Let me get that so you can see it. Number 3, Hitachi will be playing number 26, which is Owen Kay. Hitachi versus Owen Kay. Let's delve a bit deeper. Number 23, which is Zoomline. Chinese will be facing number 29. Number 29 is Priestman. So very old versus very new. Steve Williamson has just joined us. Steve, we're doing the Excavator World Championship draw at the moment. Number 4, the Mighty Volvo. Mighty Volvo will be playing, and they've got a home leg. I don't know what that means. And they will be playing against number 16. Number 16 is Kato. So just going to take a very quick break. Steve, what's going on? We're going to be doing a public vote on, we'll be drawing 32 excavator brands out of a hat. Actually, it's a cardboard box. And over the course of August and probably a little bit into September as well, rather than a question of the day, we will be doing a public vote. So we've already got the likes of, I can't even remember what the last one was. I'll have to go back and have a look at this. But we're pitting the likes of, who did I say? It was John Deere versus Graddle for one, and so on down the line. It will be down to you. The public will be voting, and thank you very much indeed. Now, that's a nice cap. Yeah, thought it went with the shirt quite nicely. So back to the draw. Number 5. Number 5 is Liebherr. Liebherr will be playing against number 17, which is Sumitomo. Number 19, which is New Holland, will be playing number 9, which is Kabelco. New Holland against Kabelco. Number 15, which is Sunward, will be playing number 14, which is Terex. Dan Cullen's just joined us. Morning, Dan. Down to the last dozen or so. Number 21, which is, I can tell you, is XCMG, another Chinese giant, will be facing off against number 32, which is HiMac. So XCMG from days gone by, XCMG rather from the current days, and I was obviously up against HiMac from years gone by. Who will be voting for HiMac in that one, I wonder? Quick rattle around of the last half a dozen balls or thereabouts. Number 18. Number 18 is Link Belt, who will be playing against number 30, which is Hydramec. So Link Belt and Hydramec, that's the Americans against the Turks. Number 7, Develon or Dusan, take it as you wish. Will be playing number 25, which is Shafe. Feels like a lot of balls, this, doesn't it? Number 2, which is Komatsu, one of the big names in the competition. Number 2, Komatsu, will be playing number 24, which is LiuGong. So the Japanese against the Chinese. Big one, that one. Number 8, which is, let me see, Hyundai, or Hyundai, if you prefer, will be playing number 1, Caterpillar. That's a pretty big draw, that one. Hyundai against Caterpillar. I'm lost already. Don't worry, Ken. Once I've done this, I will actually draw up a league table and I will make it make perfect sense. You'll be able to follow it. We're only going to be doing 1 match per day. So don't worry. It's going to be very, very easy once we get there. Number 13. Number 13 is Case, who will be playing number 20. Who's number 20? Against Bobcat. Case versus... Don't think I've ever seen someone touch so many balls in less than a minute. You haven't been to the right parties, my friend. Number 11, which is Sani, will be playing number 28, which is Atlas. And we're down to our last 2 balls. So this is the last round. Number 31, which is Senebogen. Can you see that there? Number 31, Senebogen, will be playing against number 12, Kubota. That's it. That's our draw done. So let me very quickly recap. I'll draw up a league table of who's playing who. We'll be doing 1 match per day, and we were going to be starting this on the 1st of August. The first match will be on the 1st of August, but I will keep you posted. All you need to worry about is just turn up. I'll present you with 2 different brands. You need to choose which one of those 2 you believe to be worthy of going ahead to the next round. So it really is as simple as that. It's not going to be hard, not going to be very taxing. And there you are, Steve, saying Sani versus Atlas. Yeah, Hyundai against Caterpillar, I think it was. I think it was LiuGong Komatsu. I can't remember. I need to go back and listen to this again once the show is finished, and I'll update you all on exactly who is playing who. Very, very quickly, if you haven't seen it already, I've dropped my latest column over on Demolition Insider this morning. Cut a long story short, I've looked at the situation in the world of demolition and construction, and things like, lots and lots of suicides and so on. I'm just going to throw it up in front of me, actually, so I can see exactly what it is I'm looking at. In fact, I can probably go one further, better than that. It's called Conspiracy What Conspiracy. If I share my screen, there you are. You're looking at the article now. Conspiracy. What conspiracy? So, skill shortages, industry suicides, and the rise of AI and automation. These things are unconnected, right? Yeah. So, if you fancy reading that, you can find the link over in the chat right now. That should say conspiracy. The button didn't work particularly well, but that's what it says. So, let me take that away because we do need to crack on with the show. It is that time. I'm going to roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road right about now. I can tell you that we've already had the first entry for today's mystery machine. Jim Turner has said a Terex dumper. It's not. It's not one of those at all. But I will come back to that at some point in the very near future. Let me just get rid of. No, I want to get rid of that. Get rid of that. Yeah, that's better. Just tidying up my screen. It is Monday, the 22nd of July. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony, the Walrus of Demolition. In today's show, introducing Shandong Heavy Industries. We're getting up close with Vitamin's latest product, compact wheel loader or skid steer. Vermeer helps you decide, and Volvo brings a little peace to the construction world. And as you've already seen, we've done the prize draw, or not the prize draw, we've done the draw for the brand new Excavator World Championships. I do need to show you this. Our question of the day, which I'm about to repeat in just a second, is what is the biggest animal you believe you could beat in a fight, unarmed, without a weapon? Ken Hatter is not feeling overly ambitious because he's going for a wasp. I'm being a bit braver than that, but I'll come to that in just a moment. Now, let me see. Where are we? Yes, we've done all that. It is time to show you our mystery machine, which is definitely not a Terex dumper. Here we go. Yeah, mystery machine that looks like this. There you are. I must admit, I am enjoying that floaty background. It's much better than the old blue that we used to have. So that is our mystery machine. I think there are about 6 frames I can show you before we finally reveal it. But I need to know from you. I need a make and I need a model. That's what I'm looking for. While you're doing that, and we've had another entry into our question of the day. What is the biggest animal you think you could beat in a fight? Dan Cullen reckons a cat. A cat. I'd need it declawed first because they are nasty buggers. Steve Williamson, first entry on our mystery machine. Let's go for the JCB 145X series. It is not one of those. It is definitely not one of those. Keep the guesses coming in. While you're doing that, I want to take that away. While you're doing all of that, I am going to very quickly remind you of our question of the day. Yeah, our question of the day, I've already said it, but our question of the day today is what is the biggest animal you think you could beat unarmed in a fight? Now, I'm not, let me be clear here, I'm not for one moment suggesting that you go out and pick a fight with any of God's creatures, but let's assume you're backed into a corner and you have no choice. What animal do you think you could take down or even take out? I want to say a sheep, not one with horns, because that counts as a weapon. But having said that, I helped rescue a sheep from a river once, and they are strong. But so I'm going for a small sheep, ideally one with asthma and a limp and a very placid nature. But what about you? What is the biggest animal you believe you could defeat in a fight? Let's have a look. Let's get the mystery machine back on the screen. We've got Jim Turner is going for the Hyundai 140. It's not one of those. Dan Cullen going for the Liebherr 920. It's not one of those either. Gary Muirhead going for the PW 98 MR-8. It's not one of those. Steve Williamson going for the ZX 530 from Hitachi. And Jonathan Duras is going for the EC 140E. It is not. It's none of those things. I'll tell you what, let me show you a smidge more. There you are. That's what you're working with. If you've got any comments on that, I'd love to hear from you. As I say, our question of the day remains, what is the biggest animal you believe you could beat in a fight, unarmed? Both you and the animal. I had another guest, Dan Cullen rather, says he reckons it's the JCB 370X. It is definitely not one of those. Keep the guesses coming in, and I'll be right back after this. Need to take that off the screen because that's nothing worth looking at. Not that this is, of course. Yes, we were talking earlier about Excavator World Championships and what have you. And obviously, we're going to mention a fair few Chinese names. Obviously, XCMG, LiuGong, Sunward, Sani, and so on down the line. But maybe we need to get used to another one. Anybody for a Shandong?
Every day, as the morning light winds along the eastern coast, you can see the changes in this country. Every Chinese is striving for a better life. And among them is Shandong Heavy Industry Group. From Shandong to Ho China, from China to the world. With the spirit of self-improvement and diversity, we are always trying to be a better self. We are an international industrial equipment group. Every day, we are providing better products for the world. We make goods reach every corner of the world more quickly. We make it easier for farmers to enjoy the joy of harvest. We make construction simpler and more efficient. We offer smarter solutions for material handling. We satisfy people's infinite imagination of the blue ocean. We inject endless green power to the world. We are Shandong Heavy Industry Group. Every day, we work hard for common goal in different parts of the world. We gather research and development capabilities from all over the globe and spread intelligent manufacturing worldwide. Our footsteps have reached every corner of the world, all for the purpose of fulfilling our promise to you, no matter when or where. Every day, we strive to do better in order to create a better world with you. We are Shandong Heavy Industry Group.
Absolutely love the voiceover. Shandong Heavy Industry Group. I wonder where that guy was from. Doesn't sound like anywhere I've ever been. Lots and lots of guesses on today's Mystery Machine. Lots and lots of guesses. Let me wind back just a touch. I think we left it with Dan Cullen saying JCB 370X. Definitely not. Gary Muirhead going for the JCB JS 220LC. It's not. It's not a Cat 313 either. It's not a Sani SY 870H. It's not a Liebherr R934. It's not a LiuGong 950E. It's not a Sani 210, nor is it a 215. It's none of those things. Gary Muirhead is going for the Hyundai Robex 220LC-9S. No, not one of those either. JCB JS 360. I'm going to show you a touch more, but please bear in mind, Steve Williamson is gradually building an unassailable lead. So somebody else really needs to step up to the plate today. Here is a bit more to show you. There you are. Does that boom and dipper configuration trigger anything? If somebody just looked at that and gone, I know what that is. I'll be a little surprised if you do, but you never know. There's some smart people in this audience. We will come back to that in just a moment because it is time to press on.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Yeah, if you were here last couple of weeks, actually, we seem to have hit a bit of a rich vein of form with the fine folks at Vitamin. We featured a couple of their products. We've also featured them as a mystery machine. Well, they've got another new product out. One to watch, I believe. So take a look, see what you think. Let me know. Hot or not, you decide. All the guesses are coming in thick and fast on the mystery machine. Let's put it back up. What else have we got? JS360 from JCB. No. Sani SY265 says Steve. It's not one of those. Sani about 95 tons. It's not one of those. And the cat C385 says Dan Cullen. It looks like I'm going to have to show you a bit more. Maybe it will be me getting a bit closer to Steve in the league table. That's what you're working with. Oh look, it's on tracks. That's a dead giveaway and no mistake. Probably not. That's what you're working with, people. Any more guesses, please keep them coming. I can tell you right now, nobody has even got the right make. So anybody that said Sani, Liebherr, Hitachi, LiuGong, any of those, nobody's got the right make. Keep the guesses coming, if you would be so kind. I'll be back in just a moment where we're weighing up the pros and cons of skid steer loaders against compact loaders. So imagine you're in the market for a utility machine, something that can carry a lot of attachments, do a lot of jobs, get in and out of tight spaces, just generally be a jack of all trades. On the one hand, you could go for a compact wheel loader. A lot on the continent would certainly go that way. A lot in America would go that way. Alternatively, you could go skid steer loader. But which one do you decide? Well, skid steer or compact wheel loader? There is only one way to find out. It's not a fight. Instead, we're going to ask Vermeer.
A couple of questions we hear a lot are, should I get a mini skid steer or a compact articulated loader? What's the difference between the two? And those are great questions. You may know a few off the top of your head that you can see visually, but what truly sets them apart from each other? We think there are some key differences between the two that can help you decide which one is right for your business. Let's walk through the most important features. First, the two have different and distinct ground drives. Mini skid steers have track systems, which can help operators dig into surfaces to minimize slipping. The pilot-operated ground drive joystick enables the operator to maintain smooth control of the machine. Compact articulated loaders, instead, are on rubber tires with a center articulation pivot, which helps to minimize job site ground disturbance. A dynamic blocking system, also known as DBS, with a torque divider, sends hydraulic flow to increase traction in difficult terrain. This helps keep the machine from slipping by increasing the traction, especially when digging, grading, or pushing a pile of material. Both machines offer low ground disturbance and optimal flotation, but the mini skid steer operator may need to try and avoid counter rotation to keep from tearing up the job site. If faster ground drive is a focus for you, the compact articulated loader might be the way to go, as they have an increased travel speed over the mini skid steer. Speaking of telescopic boom, let's talk about the different boom features. The telescopic boom on the Vermeer ATX 720 compact articulated loader extends 29.1 inches for loading materials to a dump height of 114 inches in hinge pin height, while also allowing the unit to have a rated operating capacity of 2,155 pounds. The telescopic boom can also aid in dumping material over the back of a retaining wall or grabbing material over an obstruction. As far as warranty goes, it has a 2-year or 1,000-hour standard warranty and a 3-year, 1,000-hour warranty on hydraulic pumps and wheel drive motors. Mini skid steers have radial or vertical lift paths without the telescopic functionality. Mini skid steers from Vermeer still have high hinge pin heights and help the unit achieve a strong ISO-rated operating capacity. Additionally, there's a 3-year or 3,000-hour limited warranty on the loader arms and frame, which can make the mini skid steer valuable when it comes to the life of the machine. As an example, the Vermeer CTX 160 mini skid steer has an ISO-rated operating capacity of 1,600 pounds and a hinge pin height of 88.75 inches. Now let's switch gears and talk about the engine power and hydraulic controls. The engine on both types of machines is very similar. Depending on which unit is chosen, there are Kubota, Kohler diesel, or gas engine options. The difference is in the horsepower and hydraulic flow. Compact articulated loaders can offer more horsepower and hydraulic flow than mini skid steers in larger units, such as 20 gallons per minute of auxiliary hydraulic flow and 57 horsepower in the Vermeer ATX 850. But mini skid steers also offer high power and optimal hydraulic flow, such as the Vermeer CTX 100 with 15.5 gallons per minute of auxiliary flow and 40 horsepower. Another thing that they both have in common is the universal mini skid steer attachment plate. Some compact articulated loaders are equipped with this plate too. That allows operators to use Vermeer authorized attachments that best suit your job site demands on either machine. Making efficient use of attachment choice can maximize productivity for you on challenging job sites. We hope this was a helpful look at the main differences and some similarities between the Vermeer mini skid steer and the compact articulated loader. Ultimately, it's your choice to find the right piece of Vermeer equipment for your business, and we want to partner with you in that decision. If you have any questions, reach out to your local Vermeer dealer or find more information on Vermeer.com.
Yeah, Steve Williamson said, nice looking mini loafers them. I thought he was talking about the guy's shoes, but he then corrected himself and made loafers into loaders. Yeah, totally agree. Personally, I would be going for the compact wheel loader all day long, mainly because I'm lazy and I like a seat. Not particularly comfortable on one of those standy up type things. Anybody else got a problem with that? Maybe just me. Mystery Machine. We seem to be on a bit of an XCMG kick here. Jonathan Duras reckons the Mystery Machine could be an XCMG XE750. Steve picking up on the XCMG vibes is going for the XE380EN. It's not. He's also going for the XE490DK. It's none of those. I can tell you now, it is definitely not an XCMG. Let me show you just a smidge more. There you are. That's what you've got to work with. It's a tough one. It is a tough one, but there is a prize up for grabs, and as we know, Steve is out in the lead. If anybody can rein him in, now is the time to start doing it, because we are down to, let me think, where are we? The 22nd. So we've got today probably about another 5 or 6 shows to do before we actually tell you who has won the first ever month of the Mystery Machine League table. I'll tell you what, I've just shown you a bit more. Don't need to show you any more at the moment. Dan Cullen is going for the XCMG 750D. No. And he's clearly lacking in a bit of confidence here, because at the same time, he's going for a Liebherr 980. It is neither of those things. I can tell you now, it is neither an XCMG nor a Liebherr. You're barking up the wrong tree if you think it's either of those. Lots more to come, and I'll be right back after a smidgen of this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
I said there's loads more to come. There's not. There's only one more film to come, and it's a very short one, actually, although I may play you something else. Let me see what else I've got on stock here. I tell you what, I'm going to play 2 films, actually, but the first one, we sit here and we babble on. I say I babble on about our electric machines, and we talk about emissions and everything else. But imagine if you will, it's Monday morning, you've had a heavy weekend, you're fit to drive. You're not hungover in the truest sense of the word, but your head's feeling just a little bit sensitive and everything else. And you get in your machine, and it sounds like this. That'd be bliss, right? That's actually quieter than my office. That's not saying so. I've got a dog snoring outside the door, actually. So, yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now, I did say I was going to play you something else, so I'll be right back after a bit of this.
Hi, I'm Holly. Join Mark Antley on The Breakfast Show. We are Ovenden.
Yeah, I wasn't planning to play this, but I've got it on standby, so I may just as well. Had an email come in from the fine folks at LiuGong in in Australia. They've done a new video. It's only 50 seconds long or thereabouts on their T-series machines. I thought I'd show it to you. Here we go. Yeah, there you are. Bit of LiuGong action just to stir into the mix. Now, I'm going to go back to the mystery machine. I'm going to show you a little bit more. There you are. I mean, really and truly, I could be calling this now. I could be calling this and claiming this as a victory myself. But I'm going to be very kind and show you that as well. Anybody spot anything there that they recognize? I'm looking for a make and a model. Just very quickly, for those that arrived late, we have done the prize draw for our Excavator World Championships, which will actually kick off on the 1st of August. We've got 16 matches in the first round, which will go down to 8 matches, which will go down to 4 to 2, and then obviously the winner of the 2 will be the winner, basically. It'd be interesting to see how this pans out, because our list of competitors, if you weren't watching earlier, I can tell you our list of competitors, participants includes obviously Caterpillar, Komatsu, Hitachi, Liebherr, Volvo, John Deere, Devellon, Hyundai, Kobelco, but it also includes the likes of Hydromec, Priestman, Hymac, O&K, Gradle. Be interesting to see exactly what how that all pans out. Let's have a look. Mick Norton says, here more with Volvo Electric. I would much rather have a labouring diesel engine that audibly tells me what strains and stresses I'm applying to the tool in use. Silence is golden, but not always a bonus for the operator. One of the things that occurred to me, and I realise this is like a double-edged sword. Whenever we talk about electric machines and how quiet they are and everything else, we have this batting backwards and forwards, and there is this concern. Partly what Mickey's saying there, you can't actually hear the strain on the machine, which obviously is an indicator. I know I've had that with electric cars. You don't know how fast you're going because you can't hear it. There's also the other concern from a safety perspective. If you can't hear the machine coming, I take on board all of that. But imagine how easy it will be for an operator in a machine as quiet as that Volvo to hear instructions from the ground. Yeah, as I say, double-edged sword. Chris Ford is going for the Cat 395 FL. It's not one of those. Dan Cullen throughout the Sumitomo 850 gotta go work calls. So it looks like we're going to chalk up another one to me, which means I will be on 9 points. Now let me have a look. 1, 2, 3. I have just drawn level with Mr. Dan Cullen, which means that both myself and Dan, I mean, he's ahead on goal difference. Both myself and Dan are following hot on the heels of Steve Williamson, although he's absolutely streets ahead. Jonathan Dora says, new Kobelco SK500 SDIG 750. It's not. I can tell you it is, in fact, I'll show it to you. There you are. It is a Shantung SE800 LC. That's what that is. So yes, I'm literally writing down my points as we speak. 3 points to the fella in the hat. There you go. That's that done with. We will have another mystery machine tomorrow. Listen, I'm almost tempted to make it too difficult for you tomorrow, in the hope that I can get myself another 3 points. Wouldn't it be awful? Wouldn't it be awful having announced the fact that we're doing this to then go and win the damn thing myself? Is the host allowed to win? Should probably be a rule against it, shouldn't there? We'll see how it pans out. Maybe I'll deliberately get it. I don't know how I'd get it wrong. You get the idea. So yes, that's pretty much that. Steve Williamson says, "Good one, that you got us." That wasn't the plan. I mean, it is a known machine. I don't think there's any over in this part of the world, but you know, it is a known machine. But we'll be back. We'll be back with that tomorrow. So that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. You know how this bit of blurb goes. Who's just commented? Steve says, still 3 up, just saying. I was letting Dan catch up. Gloves surely didn't come off. But Dan Cullen does say, that was my next darn guess. Yeah, never fails to amuse me, that. Right, okay, people. I'm going to go over into the chat in a second. You know, in my usual gazelle-like fashion. If you have got the time, please stick around. If you haven't, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. I'll see you again very soon, ideally tomorrow. Jonathan Duras says it's got a double cab and double cylinders. That's a new one. What's gone on there? Oh, what has gone on there? That is weird. I can't tell if that's whether that's a machine thing or whether I've done something weird with the photograph. My apologies for that. Feel slightly bad now, having actually claimed the victory. Steve saying, should have got an iPad, Dan, not a Samsung tablet. Yes, that would have made all the difference. Double bucket rounds, says Steve. Yeah, maybe I've screwed up the photograph. I don't actually know what's gone on there. I tell you what, we'll get into the question of the day immediately after this final word from our key show sponsor. Bear with me, 2 ticks. That's about right. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Chris Ford says, I thought it was my eyesight. Double bucket rams. Yeah, I think I may have screwed up there. I'm just going to... You won't be able to see this, but I'm going to go and have a look because I don't know quite what's gone wrong there. What was it? It was a mystery machine, wasn't it? Yeah, I had actually done that. I had. There were actually 2 photographs overlaying themselves. I apologise for that. That wasn't. I promise that wasn't deliberate. If I do catch Steve up and it becomes a head-to-head, he wins on that basis because I kind of cheated inadvertently, but I kind of cheated. Chris Ford, I thought it was my eyesight. Now, our question of the day was: what is the biggest animal you think you could beat in a fight unarmed? I went for an asthmatic, wheezy, limpy sheep. I think there's cheating going on there. Yeah, there is. And the fact that I didn't know I was cheating really isn't much of a defence. Going back to our question of the day, what is the biggest animal you think you could defeat in a fight? Question of the day, a rat, says Chris Ford. Done plenty in the past. So, many, many moons ago, I went fishing. I used to go fishing on a regular basis with my dad. My dad was a keen match angler. And we were on a match once, and he was sat beside a guy, one of his friends. They do like a draw, and you know, sure enough, he got drawn alongside one of his mates, a guy called Johnny McCarthy, or Johnny Mac as everyone knew him. Anyway, the place we were fishing, it was a canal over near Heathrow Airport, and the place was absolutely alive with... my dad told me they were water rats. I think they were just rats that liked to swim, but they were big, sort of proper rats. Anyway, Johnny Mac was getting increasingly frustrated because while he was paying attention to the float that he'd cast out into this canal, the rats were eating his maggots, you know, the bait that he was using. So at one point, and I remember this like it was yesterday, this is one of those things that you see and you think, that will live with me forever. Rat ran up and put its head in his bait box to eat his maggots. Snatched his hand out, like lightning, grabbed hold of the thing, picked it up and bit it on the back of the neck and killed it. One of the most disturbing things I think I've ever seen in my life. Ozzy Osbourne with your bat, pah, nothing. This guy picked up a rat that was roughly the size of a small poodle and bit the bleeding thing. Our friend Brian reckons he could beat a dog. Yeah, what sort of dog though, Brian? If you're talking Chihuahua, then all right. If you're talking Pyrenean mountain dog, My money's on the dog. Mick Norton reckons a geriatric and blind koala bear. Yes, but in the fray you may well catch chlamydia. Try explaining that to Mrs. Norton. Yes, love, I have chlamydia. No, our pleasantness went up. It was a koala bear, I swear. Smell my hands. They smell of eucalyptus. No idea where this is going. Ken Hatcher was here first off the mark this morning, official showtime at least. Gary Muirhead, who Gary must be getting packed, I would have thought. Surely time for your Holly Bobs, isn't it? Good to see Callum McIntosh. Things are really coming together for the SPOA Operator Challenge on the 27th of July. So M Digger are now signed up. Obviously, JCB are going to be there as well. So, yeah, fantastic news. Keep up the good work, Mr. McIntosh. Jim Turner is here. And there's our friend Brian. Jonathan Duras is here. Yes, so going back to... I probably should have kept that up, shouldn't I? Bear with me. So that was the long list of participants of our Excavator World Championship. And yeah, I deliberately dragged a few out of the dim and distant past. So Hymack are in, Priestman are in, and Owen K are in. Because I think there is a lot of sort of sentimental love and affection for those brands. So they're in, but we also got, the newbies, the Chinese, the Shantuis, the Zoom Lions, and the XMGs and that kind of thing. The first round will be played on the 1st of August. I will draw up a league table to show you all 16 of the the 16 opening matches, and we will do one match per day until we've basically run out of matches. So 16 will go down to 8. The 8 will play each other, go down to 4, they'll play each other. We'll end up with the grand final, and we will declare based purely on public vote. And I do think there will be something to do with the draw here. We've done this before. We actually did an Excavator World Championships based on public vote over on Instagram about 3 years ago. And because we've got a big American audience, it was very, very clear from day one that Caterpillar were going to run away with it. But what if Caterpillar get drawn against a Volvo or a Liebherr early doors? Because I think a more European audience and a more British audience perhaps might actually see them over the line. Could we see a big name, a Caterpillar, a Komatsu, Hitachi, go out to somebody? Could we see Hymack going all the way? Could we see Priestman going all the way? Is somebody going to come up on the blind side? I don't know. We shall see. That's how it's going to play out. Steve Williamson enjoying the cap. See, bit of a Levi shirt going on today. Bit of a Western shirt. It's feeling American vibes today. Probably because where is it? We are. I've just spotted something. Bear with me. Imagine coming on a show with that still in your hat. Here, look. Yes, it is about 9 weeks now until I'm off to the States again for my expo. Yeah. And I've got a plan. I've got no idea how I'm going to do it because we are going there obviously to work. But if you've been following this show for any length of time, and I know a lot of you have, one of the ideas that I've always wanted to do was to basically, in a roundabout way, take you with us. And yes, we do show you around the key stands, and we show you the key products and everything else. But what I'd really like to do, and as I say, I'm trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do it, but I'd love to do a half an hour, a 45-minute, possibly even an hour-long film of the entire trip. So I'm not going to film myself on a flight because, frankly, that's naff. Anybody that takes photographs of airplane wings needs to have a long, hard think about themselves. But I'd like to think that, from the moment we arrive in Vegas, we will start filming. So you'll see the hotel we're staying at, which is the Luxor. I know Steve's been there. But you'll see the Luxor, you'll see our travel to and from the show. You'll see the stands, but you'll see lunch. You'll see the strip. You'll see the shops or whatever it might be. I'd like to think that we can produce, as I say, a half hour, possibly even an hour-long film. And if we do an hour-long film, and it won't be immediately after we get back, but what I plan to do is to actually do like a movie premiere. So we will actually do a standalone show one Wednesday evening, and we will just literally play that show or that film from start to finish. Love to think we can pull that off. Never done anything like it before. Very ambitious, but let's see what we can do. Apparently YouTube is not behaving particularly well. Ken Hatcher is lost already on our Excavator World Championships. It will all become very, very clear, I promise. And there you are. That's the sort of match that the World Championships is throwing up. Sani, which is, I think, new to some of us. Atlas, an old name, not from the past, they're still around. But yeah, let's see how that all pans out. So that's the link to my latest column, Conspiracy. What Conspiracy? I'm not going to read it to you because, you know, frankly, that would be really, really boring. But what I will tell you is the intro says this: skill shortages, industry suicides, and the rise of AI and automation. These things are unconnected, right? That's the lead-in. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I promise you I am not a conspiracy theorist. But if you put all of the bits and pieces that are going on in construction and demolition, you could end up thinking, is there more to this than meets the eye? If you like that kind of thing, it is a work of fiction. So I'll tell you now, it's a work of fiction. But if that's the sort of thing you can get behind, go take a look, would you? Our question today is what is the biggest animal you think you could defeat in a fight, unarmed? Ken Hatcher, a wasp. A wasp. Dan Cullen, a cat. You'd have to creep up on a cat, though, wouldn't you? Because if it knew you were coming, the claws would come out and you'd be in a world of pain. You really would. Let's see, has anybody got any else? Loads and loads of entries to our mystery machine today, none of which were right. Going back to the Vermeer show, those two Vermeer equipment shown are dissimilar in their applications, simply an either-or to suit your needs. You largely agree with that. All I would say, you know, if you're, as I said, as I described it, if you're in the machine in the market rather for a utility machine, sort of a jack of all trades, you could go either way. Yeah, love to get your thoughts on this. Hear more with Volvo Electric, says Mick Norton sceptically. Would much rather have a labouring diesel engine that audibly tells me what strains and stresses I'm applying to the tool in use. Silence is golden, but not always a bonus for the operator. I take your point, and listen, you know, there was a time when you used to judge the power and productivity of a machine by black smoke belching into the atmosphere. Not sure we want to be doing that anymore. Is the sound going to be an issue? I wonder if you've got a display on your dash, particularly sort of a nice electric blue one. Everything blue is electric, isn't it? You know, if you've got like bit like the sound wave on a stereo. So if you're idling, well, you're not idling because it's electric. You're stopped. But the thing gradually creeps up, and when you're edging into the yellow, that's your optimum point. I wonder if that sort of thing might exist rather than sound. Yeah, Steve Williamson still basking in his lead. Dan Collins was shopping over the weekend. He's bought a RAM phone holder kit at the weekend and a new phone. Once I get a new cover, phone battle. Okay, we shall see. The battle is on, he says. Going back to Friday, there's 150 Arctic loads of bottled water leave this site a day, apparently. 150 Arctic loads of bottled water. Where are you working, Chris? Is it the Perrier factory or somewhere like that? Oh my God, can you imagine? Steve Williamson says, 10 days till 2 days of mayhem. Ed is arriving in the Highlands. Good Lord. Lock up your daughters, people. Mick Norton, go back to the subject of rats. In the Solomon Islands, brown rats were prolific in numbers and size. My forward clearance team's favourite evening pastime was grabbing these rats from under the duckboards, dipping them in kerosene and setting them alight. I mean, I can't condone that, but I can kind of say. I remember my granddad was stationed in Burma during the war, and apparently one of the things they did was a circle of lit petrol. So there's flames, and they would drop scorpions into the middle, and apparently scorpions are that much against fire. I'm sure there's a name. Against fire. I think we're all against fire, but apparently they would sting themselves. They would actually sting themselves rather than face fire. Steve says, I was just about to say, you still have the cardboard in it. Can you imagine? Yeah, it's been I've got two. I've actually got two John Deere hats, and I'm wearing the new one, and that was still in my hat. I look pretty stupid anyway, don't I? Great hotel. Can't wait for 2026, but we'll probably be going there next year for a holiday of America. Fantastic stuff. I think you'll have a fantastic time. The hardest animal to kill in the Highlands is the smallest, a midge, or a midgie, as he calls it. Yeah. And yet they are the most vengeful, aren't they? Steve says, did you use my discount code for your RAM mount? 15% off any RAM product. Dan, did you? Were you aware that Steve has a 15% off on RAM products? I didn't know that. Footy just said, so guys, it's only a flying visit, can't stop long. Got another lorry coming soon. Good morning to you, Footy. Good of you to join us. Yeah, we've another full week of shows this week. Thankfully, no breaks coming up, which is good news. As I say, I think it's about 9 weeks until we're off to Mine Expo, which will be a week completely devoid of shows. The Las Vegas Wi-Fi just will not allow us to broadcast from there, so we'll have to, I don't know, I'll think of something. May have to go over onto Instagram and do a few bits and pieces actually from the show itself, but I'll keep you posted a bit closer to the time. But yeah, where are we now? The 22nd of August, I think, or 22nd of July today. So I think we've got about 9-10 days, and then we would actually kick off our Excavator World Championships. Tilt 15 is a discount code for RAM Mount UK website. There you are. If anybody is in, I don't even know what RAM, I mean, I'm assuming they do phone mounts because somebody just told me. I don't actually know anything about RAM, but if you are in the market for any RAM products, there you are. There's Steve Williamson's just handed you 15% off. Just go to the RAM UK website or the RAM Mount UK website and use the code TILT15. Discount code, 15% off. Happy days. Well done, Steve. Good, nice one on that. I should probably do a few of those myself, shouldn't I? Used to do a bit of like affiliate marketing and stuff. Kind of got bored, to be honest. Couldn't keep up with it, but may go back to doing that. And unfortunately, Dan didn't know, so he's paid top whack. Although by all accounts, the actual products themselves are very, very good. Mick Norton says, 4 empty bottles of Aussie Castlemaine Perkins 4X beer filled with diesel to light a rope wick placed at each corner around your bed keeps the rats at bay. Does it? Does it really? I'm not sure I want flames around my bed. Let's have a look. Cap discounts, Mark. Do you know what? That's a thought, isn't it? I wonder if there's anybody out there that would be willing to do that. We shall see. Dan Cullen apparently has paid 118 of your finest English pounds, although in his case, probably your finest Irish pounds, for a phone mount. I think my last phone mount was about 11 quid, and it's been serving very, very well indeed. That being said, it's only mounted in a car. Doesn't have to go through particularly hard life, unlike you guys. I'll have a cap discount. I wonder who I could do that with. I might even reach out. The brand that I think does the best merch at the moment is unquestionably Bobcat. I wonder if I could negotiate some sort of Bobcat discount for their merch store. I wonder. Let me have a word. It will last you a lifetime. Well, you say that, and I'm sure the products themselves are very, very good. But you don't know me. If I can't break it, I'll lose it, or possibly both. You are talking to somebody that has had a GoPro run. Well, GoPro fallen off the side of the car on a motorway, that got destroyed. GoPro fell off an excavator, got tracked over. That went the same way. So I'm not good with stuff. People shouldn't allow me to have stuff. That's why they keep me in an office. Right, people, that should pretty much do us. I've just had a message. Let me very quickly check this because it's from Nigel Williams. He's just agreeing with the fact that there might be some sort of conspiracy going on in the construction industry. If you like that sort of thing, go and have a look at the article. 7 years I've had the same holder in machines, dumpers used for demo driving, in and out of the machine. Can't fault them. See, here's an important distinction for those of you that are into the whole influencer thing. and I mean this in the nicest possible way. Here's Steve. I'm going to call him an influencer, even though it's a shitty term and it's meaningless. But the important thing is Steve is endorsing a product that he uses. It's not just a case that somebody's bunged him an envelope full of money and he's spouting forth. He's actually using the product that he's endorsing, and he's been using it for 7 years. And as you can see, it's taken a bit of a battering in that time. So, Steve, hats off to you, my friend. If anybody is in the market, you know where to find it. Chris Ford, talking of aeroplane wings, which we kind of were. I went to a local war memorial on Saturday to remember the airmen that died 80 years ago on Wednesday. It's a fine resting place for 3 of them. The chaplain leading the service informed us that the flags on poles represented the size of the aircraft and said you'd never get it in the field today. Have I got a warped sense of humour when I thought they managed it 80 years ago? It was a lovely service and well attended. Yeah, well done indeed. And there's Dan Cullen. Have a great day, guys. Yeah, and what about, I did mention it, but what about Joe Biden stepping down, eh? There's a bit of me that it fills with dread. You know, has it opened the door for Mr. Trump to steam in? But there's another bit of me that thinks Kamala Harris. I wonder if she could secure both the female vote, you know, potentially the first female president, and also a lot of the ethnic minority vote. I mean, I think she's part black, part Asian as well. Could she secure a bit of that? Wouldn't that be fantastic, eh? He's stepping down more like pushed out. Yeah, I think there was a certain air of inevitability about it. I think after, Steve, you watched it, you know, after that debate, he was quite clearly struggling. That being said, you know, I think I've made it very, very clear where my politics lie. I think Donald Trump was a terrible president and an even worse human being. My vote would have gone with Joe Biden. I don't have a dog in the fight because I'm not in America, but I would have gone with Joe Biden every single day because I think he's a more decent human being. But the one thing that I can't quite get my head around is they are making an issue of his cognitive ability. Have you heard a Trump speech? It's like the rambling of a madman. The number of times, I mean, I watched one the other day where he tried, I think, 4 different times to say the word anonymous. And he moves on. Why? Why is nobody actually mentioning that? Age is his problem, yeah, unfortunately. Metaphorically, Biden has taken the bullet, not Trump. Yeah, interesting times. I have to admit, and I am a cynic, but I've also been around for a while. When Donald Trump survived and got up and gave it his fight, I did think, you know, there's probably half of America just decided to put a tick in the box alongside his name. Can't say I agree, but as I say, I don't have a dog in the fight, so not what is the expression my daughter uses? Not my circus, not my monkeys, or worse. Not my monkeys, not my circus. I can't remember which way around it is. One of those. Anyway, people, that's an hour. Go and do something. Go and do something useful. I'm going to go and figure out who is playing who in the Excavator World Championship. I've actually got to listen to that all again because it's the only way I've got to doing it. I couldn't write it down at the same time. So I'll be back tomorrow, and I will tell you who is playing whom at that point. We will actually be kicking off on the 1st of August. Until then, everybody, go have a fantastic day, would you? I'm not sure what the weather's doing where you are. It's a bit bleak here, to be honest, so don't think I'll be doing much outside today. But I'll be back again tomorrow for more of the same. Till then, everybody, have a good day. Try your best. Have a good day.